Hi, Renee here. I am here today to show you a demo a card that's in my church is having a craft night, and I'm going to be teaching some cards. So this is one of the cards that I'm going to be teaching. So if you're watching this after the event has occurred, I will have a coordinating blog post linked down below, and in that blog post we'll have all of the supplies that I've used, links to supplies, as well as measurements for all of the cutting pieces. So I hope you enjoy, and again, thank you ladies of my church for coming tonight, and I hope this video helps you with your construction of your cards. So the one we're going to do right now is called Fluttering By to Say Hi. So in your packet you will find this envelope. Go ahead and take your supplies out of the envelope. You can just set the envelope aside. In your supplies you have a card base, just a white card base. You will have what we call sparkles, and they are little self-adhesive gemstones. Put those aside. You'll have a piece of ribbon. If for some reason you're missing your piece of ribbon in your kit, or your ribbon is too short, come find me. I brought some extra ribbon. I can cut that for you. Put that aside. You have a piece of pattern paper, and you will notice that it has two different sides. Now in some of the kits your piece of paper looks like this. It's this color. So you will have two of these, one that are both the same size. So if you have this piece, you're welcome to use either side. This is going to be for our inside mat. Otherwise you're going to use this. So sorry for that, but I ran out of this paper. Then you also have, again, like I said, the gray piece. You might have two of them. You have the white base for the inside of the card. You're going to have a little square that we're going to use to mat our sentiment. And again, it has two sides. We're going to use the circle side. You have your sentiment. And you also have this strip that has the two sides. However, we're going to be using the yellow side. Okay, so for step one, you're going to need one of your gray pieces, or your only gray piece if you happen to have one of those kits. And we're going to adhere this to our card base. So for adhering, this is what I've provided for you in your kit. It is an AdTech tape runner. They're great little tape runners. If you find yourself doing a lot of paper crafting, using these can become very expensive because you're going to go through this. To use this, you just pop off this lid, go ahead and use it. Make sure you put the lid on when you're not using it, otherwise it will stick to everything. But today, for my demo purposes, I'm going to be showing you a couple other types of adhesive methods that you can use. This one is my favorite. This is called a Scotch Advanced Tape Glider, also called an ATG. That's what it looks like on the other side. And I purchased mine at Hobby Lobby, and I used a 40% off coupon. These can be quite pricey, so make sure you're using a coupon. Other types of adhesives that you can use are things like these. These are called liquid adhesives. This one is made by Tombow, and it's called Tombow Mono Multi-Liquid Glue. It has a really fine tip, which is great for using on paper because you don't want to put too much glue or else your paper will buckle. And then you can also use a Scotch Quick Dry adhesive. These both cost very similar, so whichever one you like, they're both great. The Scotch Quick Dry and the Tombow are both acid-free, so those are going to be good for any kind of scrapbooking or anything that you consider heirloom and you're going to be keeping. The permanent tape that I've provided for you is not acid-free. This is just regular tape, and the tape that I'm using in my ATG gun today is just regular tape. Greeting cards are not usually things that are kept for a very long time, so you really don't have to worry about the acid that's in your tape. So the first step that we're going to have here is you're going to take this piece and you're going to adhere it to your card base. The way you do your adhesive is put your adhesive as close to the edge as you can without going over. You don't want to get any of that adhesive on the front of the card because then it'll end up sticking to everything, including your envelope. Makes it a little hard for them to get it out of the envelope when it arrives. So you just go ahead, put your tape on there, and then you're going to place it on your card front. giving yourself about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Again, this does not have to be perfect. This is a homemade card by a person, not made by a machine. So don't worry too much if you're a little bit off. It'll look great. Okay, so there's step 1 completed. Now step 2 on this particular card is a little bit on the tricky side. You're going to need this strip and you're going to need your ribbon. What I have found to be really helpful, because what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this ribbon around and then tape it onto the back to hold it in place until we put it all together. What I have found to be very, very helpful is to take your piece and then take the ruler. There should be a ruler at your table and a pencil. And of course, I'm doing a video, so I did not have my pencil ready, but now I do. And what you want to do, what made it easier for me, is to make myself just a little mark at about the 1/2 inch mark on each side of the paper. Okay, I'm actually going to use my grid here, but if you have a ruler, just go ahead and set your ruler at the 1/2 inch and give yourself just a couple of little tick marks. And what those marks are going to do is they're going to help you to tape down your ribbon so that it's straight across the front. Now, don't worry too much about getting it absolutely straight, because you're going to be putting another piece over the top of that and it's going to hold it in place. Okay, so go ahead and you're going to have your ribbon on the front. Flip your paper over and line it up. I'm not sure if you can see these marks. I'm afraid you can't. So let me get a little bit darker pen just so you can see the marks that I have. I think that makes it a little bit better. Okay, and then you want to get the Scotch tape. I have this beautiful shoe. I love this tape dispenser. Unfortunately, what I brought for you today is just plain old, plain Jane dispensers. So you want to fold that over, get yourself a piece of tape. Doesn't have to be a huge piece of tape. Really, all you're doing right now is just holding that ribbon in place until you can get it adhered down to another piece of paper, and then that'll really hold it in place. Okay, so just pull it. Don't pull it too tight because you'll buckle your paper up, you'll bend it up, but tight enough so that it's smooth across the other side. Put your tape down, and then that's what you'll have. And again, don't worry too much if it's kind of moving around in the middle, because you're going to place something over that, and really all you're going to see are these two edges, so you'll be okay. Okay, so the next step is you're going to take this piece and you're going to adhere it to the card front. Now this is a top opening card, so what you want to do is you want to have that fold up at the top. Okay, so go ahead and place your card base the correct direction so you're sure to glue your pieces down. And you want to place, actually going to move that so you can see. Sorry about that. And you're going to run your tape all the way around the edges. I did get that a little close. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you, go ahead and get that tape off of there. Just roll it over onto itself and you'll make sure that you don't have any tape that's going to cause you a problem. So again, like the other pieces, you're going to put your tape runner all around the edges. But something else you want to do whenever you have any sort of an embellishment or anything like this, you want to run another bit of tape just over where those embellishments are. I don't know if you can see that. And I put additional strip of tape right there where that ribbon is on the back. Okay, grab your card base, make sure it's opening correctly. And for this particular piece, you want to have it about 1/8 of an inch in, and I believe it is, let's see, we will look at our instructions. That's why instructions are good. Okay, approximately 1/8 of an inch in from the left side of the card and 5/8 inch from the top. Feel free to eyeball this if you like. The card is going to be beautiful however you make it. And just push that down, make sure it's adhered well. Especially right there where those ribbon pieces are. Push that really hard. Okay, so that was step 3. Now for step 4, you are going to need this piece. Again, it's two-sided, but we're going to use this side with the circles. Okay, so go ahead and put your adhesive on the back all the way around. get yourself straight so you can look at it straight. And this particular piece is going to be about the same, but it's going to be 1/8 of an inch from the front, from the top, and 5/8 from the right, so that you end up sort of symmetrical, but you're still kind of off center and you still have that interest going on in your card. Okay, there we go. So that's all placed down. Now, our next step, which is step 5, actually has a couple things going on for it. We're going to adhere our sentiment, but then we're also going to decorate with our sparkles. Okay, you will see on the table are some toothpicks. Toothpicks are a really good way to pick these guys up and put them down and have good control over them. There is also a tool called a pick-me-up, and this is put out by Silhouette, and this is also really good for doing that. If you find that you're going to be making a lot of cards, you might want to invest in one of these. It has this end that comes out, and it has a pointy end just like a toothpick. Okay, and it also has a place to lift some things, and this is a really good sticky tip for picking up sequins and other items. So that's a really good tool to have. So we're going to go ahead and adhere this sentiment panel down. And believe me, we're almost done. And my dog is really happy because I can hear him begging to go outside. So we will rush right through this so he doesn't have to wait too long for me. And then this piece is just going to be centered in this square. And you can just kind of eyeball that. The good way to do it, if you're doing your pieces so that they have equal amounts all the way around, is if you have an equal amount here and here on these two corners, you can be pretty much assured that the bottom is going to be equal as well. Again, you can use a ruler and measure that out. It's 1/4 of an inch. So feel free to do whatever you feel most comfortable with. Again, don't worry, these aren't supposed to be perfect. You do not have to be perfect. You just need to have fun, and you are doing something for someone else that they will so appreciate. They are not going to point out anything that's wrong with it. So what you're going to do now is you're going to place your 3 little sparkles here in the corner, and I'm just going to show you how I do it. Just go ahead and get it lifted off of that plastic, get it on the end of your toothpick like that, and then you can place it down wherever you like. You can move it, but once you push on it, so push on it with your finger, pull your toothpick out, it's there. It's not going anywhere. Okay, and you can position these as far apart or as close together as you like. I'm going to turn mine sideways because that's how I work best. So I'm going to go ahead and place that one down with my shaky fingers. And I like to do things in odd numbers. I think it looks nice to the eye. So I tend to do things in 3s or 5s. Any more than that, and it can look a little bit cluttered with bling. And the other thing is you want to make them look like, and you can push them a little bit until you get them right where you want them, and then squish them down. You want to make sure that you're not just throwing stuff all over your card. A wonderful card maker, Sandy Allnott, calls that sneeze, and I think it's hilarious because it does look like someone just sneezed all over. So do your things in groups of 3 or 5, and that'll make it look a lot nicer. So there's the front of our card. All we have left to do is the inside. So at this point you can pick if you want this side to show or that side to show, or if you are one of the ones that got the kit with the gray background, that's what's going to go right here. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use the yellow side. So we'll have that as our map. So go ahead and place your adhesive. This is for the inside of your card for anything you want to write to your recipient. If you want to do some stamping on it, anything that you're going to do like stamping, or if you're going to be writing a whole bunch, I would do that before you glue it down. That way, if you mess up, you can just flip it over and use the other side, and you're good to go. So now what we're going to do is we are going to adhere that piece, if I can pick it up, here to the inside of our card. So again, we just add our glue, all around the edges. And for some reason, I can't pick stuff up tonight. And so our card opens like this. Turn the card any way you like in order to get your piece in where you like it. Just remembering that it needs to be on the bottom so that when you open your card, there's where you wrote your sentiment. And so there we go. It's all finished. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, again, just place them down in the comments below. And again, check out the coordinating blog post if you want any of the specific information about how this card was put together. And have a great day.